What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here helping you take your game to the next level. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the most important zone in Madden 18. Now, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to improve your Madden game, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Make sure to hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad and never miss an upload. So what's going on, guys? Like I said, today I'm going to be going over the most important zone in Madden 18. And most people would probably assume that it's the cloud flat, and the cloud flat is very good this year. It's, you know, it's up there for sure, but we're going to be talking about a different zone today because this is something I think that kind of goes overlooked for the more intermediate or casual players. Most of the, top tier players probably know about this by now, but I could see that this being something that goes overlooked by a lot of people that are just casually playing online. They might change this zone or maybe even wind up using the guy that's in the zone, but you never want to do it because this zone is actually so powerful if you just let him roam by himself. So the zone that I'm talking about is the 3 receiver hook, and this is something that you pretty much can find in any Crossfire Blitz, which is pretty big because Crossfire Blitzes are all the best blitzes this year. There's the one in the 3-3-5 odd, there's one in dollar, there's one in 3-4 odd. It's the most consistent blitz this year out of a number of formations, and the 3 receiver hook is in all of these blitzes. You can also find it in the cover 1, like a cover 1 press. So I'm actually going to show it with cover 1 right quick. And you see the safety is in the 3 receiver hook. Now, don't get this confused with like a regular hook curl. A hook curl is completely different. This hook curl is gonna jump right here and kind of just sit right here the entire time. That's all a hook curl is gonna do. Same with like a vert hook. Vert hook, except it's gonna go a little bit more vertical down the field. What a 3 receiver hook is gonna do is just play almost random in a sense, but it's gonna play very aggressive over the middle. It'll jump drag routes, it'll jump quick slants. And really no other zone in the game will do that consistently. And what's so great about the 3 receiver hook is that it is kind of unpredictable. Whereas, a cloud flat's going to play the same every way. A hook curl's going to play the same every way. A deep zone's going to play the same every way. If you have 91 zone guys at those spots, they may jump routes a little bit better, but they're still going to play the same every way. A 3 receiver hook is a little bit more unpredictable. You can just count on it playing very aggressively over the middle and making it hard to complete quick passes, and that's what's so important about it. So especially for things like drags and quick slants, which a lot of people say they have trouble stopping. Now, you definitely do want a 91 zone guy here. That's why we have Harrison Smith right here for the Vikings, because he has that threshold. It makes the zone that much more better. Usually they're going to jump something if you try to throw anywhere near their area. So let's show one example really quickly. We'll run P8 post. So one way that people like to set this up is you'll drag the tight end and then you motion out the B route, and what happens is you kind of have the drag and the slant working off each other. You kind of have to make the user defender or somebody kind of commit to one. So let's just say this is coming, even if you don't know it's coming, but let's say you're using the strong safety here and you see the drag. You can bite down on the drag over here because you know that this 3 receiver hook is going to catch the slant coming back over the middle, whereas a regular like hook zone wouldn't do that. So let's show an example and then we'll go to a replay after this example. So you see it jumps down aggressively and then look what happens. Now, I don't know, one of the linebackers jumped up and got his hands on it there, but I want you to focus on Harrison Smith in this replay. It would have been picked by Harrison Smith. The linebacker that was manned up on the running back wound up going into a spy, so he got his hands on the ball, but pretend he's not there. So watch Harrison Smith, what he does immediately at the snap of the ball. He runs down and gets aggressive on this drag. He's trailing behind this drag. So if you're on offense, a typical person on offense sees this and they're going to be like, okay, this slant by Devontae Adams is about to be wide open right here. I can quick pass this. But just when you think that, look what Harrison Smith does. He follows that drag so aggressively and then he peels back. Now, if number 40, whoever that is, wouldn't have got his hands on this, Harrison Smith was going to pick this off. I mean, you see he's in perfect position. That's what the 3 receiver hook does. Let's look at another example. Let's look at corner strike. Some people will run this, they'll max protect, and they'll fade this guy, they'll drag this X guy. Basically, they're looking for the one-play touchdown on the right. If not, they know they have the drag, which is a check down read. And a lot of times, unless you play underneath coverage, that drag is going to get wide open every time if you don't play underneath coverage. But by playing underneath coverage, you leave the corner route open. So it's kind of like you got to pick your poison. But when you have this 3 receiver hook on the play, watch what happens. He's going to get over here. He's going to get aggressive. And now if we try to throw this, now that was a bad pass by Rodgers. But again, you'll see, we'll go to the replay. Harrison Smith is all over it. He's coming all the way from this depth back here to completely shut down a drag route. We didn't shade him underneath. We didn't tell him to play aggressively underneath. He just knows his responsibility. So immediately he's going to kind of stay here, stay home, kind of assess what's going on. He sees like, okay, these guys got, we got Cobb and Adams behind him. He's like, okay, these guys got him. Now I see this coming across the field. I'm about to get in position. And he's right in position to pick off Jordy Nelson. But Huntley throws a bad pass there. So that's something you really can't get out of any other zone in the game. Now let's go look at the Crossfire Blitz, because you're not going to run cover 1 too often. Even though cover 1 press is very underrated this year, it's something that I definitely recommend mixing in into your game plan. Not something you're going to run every single play. It's something I've been starting to run a lot, and it's been very successful for me. But you're going to run Crossfire Blitzes more commonly because you're going to be trying to bring pressure. So, you know, typical Crossfire setup, something like this. So the worst thing you're going to obviously use this linebacker here. The worst thing to do, what a lot of people do, and this is what even something I was doing at the beginning of the year before I realized how good this zone was, you're going to typically take this guy and be like, all right, let's put him in a hook curl because that looks better. Like, let's say you shade it underneath and you have him in a hook curl. It just almost looks more pleasing. It looks like more area is going to be covered, rather than if we do this, it doesn't look the same because it looks like we're going to have both of these guys covering this area of the field. But in reality, you know, we're going to be usering and jumping where we want with this guy. But what you visually, you know, what you see when you see this is you see that, oh, this guy is just going to run right here, and then all this space right here is just going to be wide open. But it's not always the case. He's going to usually make the right play on the ball. So, for example, you know, we can run PA post, and again, you're going to see, and then, I mean, the blitz might hit us here because we are blitzing, but again, you know, he's gonna take away what needs to be taken away. He's gonna take away whatever route is there, and no other zone in the game is gonna jump that. You'll see now on this, in this example, we'll go ahead and we'll put him in the hook curl. We'll take him out of that zone he was in, and then I'm actually go ahead and man this guy up on X just to pretend I'm going over there to user that side of the field that's open. So let's just pretend I'm going over there to user. Because I feel like, okay, I have my zones over here, they can cover this side of the field. And what you're going to get happening now is you got him underneath. Now, yes, he still broke on the ball pretty well because he's Harrison Smith and he has 91 zone, but we still picked up you know, almost 10 yards here. We picked up about 8-9 yards. Yes, he was right on our back, which isn't bad, but this is a difference between 8 yards. That little half yard to a yard of difference is the difference between the play before we got picked off, and then that play we got 8 yards. So basically what I'm trying to say is when you have these 3 receiver hook zones, you number one, you want a 91 zone guy there every time if you can help it, and you never want to take that zone off of the field. You always want to leave it there because it's going to always jump routes over the middle, and a lot of people have trouble using. A lot of people, you know, I posted a bunch of videos on how to be a good user defender, how to even from a beginner level, and there's still a lot of people that say, you know, I'm just not good at it. Well, what this zone does is, like, in a sense, becomes a decent user defender for you. It's not going to be able to shut the whole field down or shut a whole side of the field down like you could as a user if you're really good and you're baiting throws. But what this is going to do is it's going to help jump quick slants and quick drags over the middle of the field that you yourself, if you're not comfortable stopping those, you want to run plays that have that 3 receiver hook zone on the field. You know, so let's say if you're not going to use this linebacker and you're a D-line user, well then in that case I would probably take this linebacker and, you know, put him in a hook curl, put him like that, or maybe you put him in a hard flat, you know, or a curl flat, excuse me, or a hard flat, either or. Try to cover, you know, both outsides of the field. So let's say you had a setup like this where you have 2 hard flats. You know you still have your blitz coming, but now with the 3 receiver hook, you're not vulnerable to the middle of the field. So let's say you're a D-line user, okay, and this is, you know, the offense set up your play. You can't user over the middle of the field, but because of that 3 receiver hook, you now have a user over the middle of the field almost, whereas before, if you're just running standard coverages and trying to blitz, and you're not able to use it in the middle of the field, you're going to get picked apart every time. Let's show one more quick example. So let's say you're not a user. You don't like user defending. You know how to set up a blitz, but you don't know how to user defend. So maybe you set up something like this. But instead of having him again in that, you know, whatever, maybe you have him in this hook curl or something like that. If you don't have him in that 3 receiver hook, what happens now is, yeah, you're running a great blitz. You'll probably get pressure, but you're going to get picked apart over the middle of the field every single time because you're not over there to use her. But if you have a 3 receiver hook zone, as you saw in all the other examples, he's going to jump over that middle for you. So if you're having trouble usering, or even if you don't have trouble usering, but you just didn't realize how powerful the zone is, now you know. Definitely never you know, change the assignment on that zone. Always leave it as is and always have one of your best defenders there. It'll work wonders for you. You'll see in some more recent gameplays that I'm probably posting soon, because like I said, I've been starting to mix in a little more cover 1, and of course I still run Crossfire Blitzes from time to time. You're going to notice that this guy is going to be jumping routes for me a lot of times and getting picks, and I do usually have Paul Krause in that spot. So if you enjoyed this video, as always guys, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.